Hey guys, welcome back to Chief's Garage. In today's episode, we're going to look at a rear end again. Call it an axle assembly. Crown and pinion, axles, brakes, wheel bearings. What's going on is, I found a guy that had a couple of cars parted out, a 37 Dodge and a 37 DeSoto. And he pulled all the powertrain components out, like engine, tranny, driveline, axles, steering components, the whole front end, and I got all those parts. And what my goal here is, I want to rip these apart. I'm trying to find a 411 crown and pinion set. I want to put a 411 crown and pinion set in my 38 Chrysler. Right now it has a 3.90 rear end in it, and I find like 95% of my driving is done in town and climbing the big hill home. And I'm finding when I'm coming up the hill home, I'm always shifting second to third, back to second, up to third, multiple times to get up the hill. And I want to get my RPMs up, so I'm kind of making more power and torque at a higher RPM to climb the hill home. So I got two axle assemblies. I've already pulled one apart. It's right here. By chance, I think it's the one out of the 37 DeSoto, because it's a 3.90 crown and pinion set as well. And I don't really want that, so if you know somebody needs a 390 rear end, I have one. I have two actually. I have a 390 in my Chrysler. I have a 390 here, and I have a 4.30 as a spare as well. I have. Now we're gonna find out what this one is. I guess I'm gonna be the diff king of Canada here soon if I keep this up. So let's take this apart. You maybe think I'm crazy for putting 411s in my Chrysler, but honestly, it's suited for me and the driving I do. I don't go on the highway. The car has overdrive, so I can still engage overdrive on the highway, and it purrs right now with the 390 in it. And I'll be okay picking up whatever 500 or 700 RPM on the highway. It's not a big deal. It's just humming extremely low RPM and makes decent power on flats. But on a hill, with the overdrive off, even third gear, I'm a pretty steep grade home. And I'm going to try 411s. So here we go. Let's take this thing apart and I'll show you how to do it. You haven't done it before. And then together we'll reveal the crown and pinion set and see if we pull the right card on this one and got what we want. Okay, you should know I took my nut off. I just used an impact and an 1.25 inch socket. I just pulled my nut off. I just threaded it back on a little bit. And there's a gap so that the nut will keep the drum on the axle even after it's loose. It won't go flying. This puller here, I put my puller on. This is a typical eBay puller. I know there's better quality, but it hasn't let me down yet, and I've probably used it like, 4 or 5 times, maybe more than that. It would have been way easier if the previous owner had pulled its drum off while it was still in the car. I think I'm going to have a hell of a time trying to get this off here because the whole axle's going to want to spin. But maybe if I use my electric impact on there. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Hey, that came pretty easy, actually. Wow. Did you see that drum move? Wow, that came way too easy. For sitting in a field for 25 years. So the only thing that's stopping me now is the nut, so I'm going to take the nut off. Now that it's broken free. There's the nut. And give it another little shot with the impact. Maybe I got lady luck on my side today. I expected that to be way harder. And there it is. That, folks, is how you pull a drum. Here's your tool. Spider's been living in here. They've been enjoying this old car. Man, the brake pads are in good shape. I'm keeping this stuff. Okay, so assume this is on your car. the next thing you need to do is, we got our drum off. It looks great. We got to take off these 4 or 5 nuts here. In my last video, you may have noted that I said I prefer to do things with hand tools. Yeah, I do usually. With this, I'm just banging crap apart for parts. So I'm not really being too delicate, to be honest. Probably a little gasket here, I think. Yep, paper gasket. I don't really need to take it off, but I wonder if we could get that off with the brakes still on there. Let's try it. Ah! Indeed, it does come off. Shim. All I was doing is I just pushing these screws out. Just punched them out. Okay, so at this point, this is still on your car. You want to get this axle out now, right? You're thinking, well, how do you get that out? It's kind of stuck there, right? Well, this is the next little trick I like to do. There's a keyway in here. I'm going to try, or a key, Woodruff key. I'm going to try and get that out of there. Square key. You just lay this back on there without the key. Now this is going to be in your car, so, but it's not, so I got to jack it up, right? Lay this back on, like so. But don't push it on tight, just lay it on there. And put the nut back on. Just a few threads like that. Give yourself some room, a little bit of room to kind of hammer that. Here it is. It's that easy. Slide that off. Piece that went flying is just the cone for the bearing there. Man, this axle is clean. I wonder why it's so clean. Look at that. That's like brand new. Splines, that's going into my center of my diff. So, there's a seal in here. There's grease in there. A little grease plug at the top here. That's where you're putting your grease in. When you're greasing that inner bearing, that, well, there's only one inner seal and a bearing there. The bearing sits on the axle shaft, right? And it's tapered. And when you hammer this in, that's what's you're plowing in there and putting shims on it. There's a little seal in there. I'll take it out if you want. It's not my goal today, but for the sake of this video, shims. I'll take it out for you. Okay, this is kind of overkill for this job, but it's a slide hammer. They make smaller ones. Push that in there, grab the seal, turn this, and that spreads open the jaws here. The seal is not going to be reused anyways. That simple. I think somebody rebuilt this axle. That seal is too new. Good shape. Goes in that way. Do not destroy it like I did and try and reuse it. See, I just made that dent in there. It's a one-time thing. Shouldn't be reusing those. It's not worth the risk. It's a lot of work if you get that far in and you got a bad seal. So just buy new ones. I think I've talked about this in one of my earlier videos, but this seal here is very generic. It's not hard to find. I happen to know a part number for a Caterpillar seal, and you can get these at your local Caterpillar dealer for much less money. Part number 2 Bravo 1869. You see that? 2 Bravo 1869, made in Mexico. I'd put these in. Perfect seal for that right there. So I don't really see the point in showing you this again, because it's the exact same thing on the other side. You're taking off both brake assemblies, backing plates, taking the drum off, and heaving that drum back and forth for a puller to get your... Now we're going to have fun struggling with a rusty cotter pin. So I'm not going to tape all that. Just get your cotter pin out, get your impact on there, bang that off. If you don't have an impact, well, sucks to be you kind of, but it is nice. You know, I bought that electric Hitachi impact probably 30 years ago, and I love it. It's served me very well for, you know, big, ugly kind of knuckle busting jobs like this. It's pretty good. Okay, so both axles are out in really good shape. Now, you got to go this far just to change this gasket. I'll show you why. To speed things up, we're putting a massive extension on here. Take all these bolts out. Okay, we got 1, 2 that are going to be stubborn. Someone's been in here. I see blue silicone. Try a bigger tool. Oh, half inch. Easy. Don't know why the socket impact was having such a problem. Okay, so you want to have the oil drained out of your axle housing. There's a plug right there. Hopefully that's a drain plug. If not, put a pan under it, crack the gasket, pry it open a little bit, drain the oil, because it's going to be full, right? This one I don't think is full because I pulled the axles out and they came out pretty dry. Okay, it's time for the big show. What do we got? Do we need a hammer? Oh, there we go. So, pull the axles out, then you can pull out this. Dry as a bone in there. Someone sealed it up. Let's see what we got. 411. There you go. Took 2 tries. Man, that is clean. Extremely clean. I don't think this thing has seen oil in years, but man, that is clean. I think I got a really good diff here to use in my Chrysler. Okay, so mission accomplished. 411 gears. So, I don't know. I'll check it out, inspect it closely, look for wear and tear, maybe replace the pinion seal. But I think someone's been in here and done a good job. For whatever reason, they didn't have a gasket. They used some pretty good amounts of silicone here. I see marks here. They set the preload on the bearing here and locked it in place. I don't see any wear on the teeth, really. I'll get closer. I need my glasses. Anyways, success. There you go. So you take an axle apart, check your gear ratio, spin it around, look for the numbers. The ratio stamped right on there. All right, so till next time, we'll see you on Keith's Garage. Maybe we'll be putting this in my Chrysler soon.